One of the first signs of spring that people love is when they drive onto campus after a weekend and see all the pails up on the trees, and they know that the change of seasons is afoot and we're ready to welcome the warmer days and have a little bit of fun for the 4 or 5 weeks that we work to produce maple syrup on campus. Hi, I'm Garret Hart. I've been just completing my 19th year at Lakefield College School in the residential program. And I've been really fortunate to take over from a long line of teachers who have produced maple syrup here as part of the Grove. I started with probably 5 or 10 taps. We're now up to 275 taps. So the program to me is really important because it is a connection that is sorely missing with students these days. We honestly started the program because we thought that it would be good for international students to understand this iconic Canadian product. But I'm really amazed at the number of Canadian students that really do think that you take your pancakes up to the tree and the syrup just comes flowing out, and have no real idea about the whole process. And it speaks to this disconnection about food production and consumption in our society. So in doing this, essentially we primarily work with outdoor education classes, but we also have art classes that will come down and draw the sugar shack. We have science classes that will talk about concentrations and what's going on in the process. But primarily it's our outdoor education classes that come out, and we talk a little bit about the history of maple syrup at the school. We teach them how to identify a maple tree by its bark, its leaves, and the branches. We teach them how to properly tap a tree. So they actually get to see, hopefully on a nice warm day, when they drill in and the sap starts pouring out before they can even get the drill out of the tree. They tap the tree and then they go and collect, and so they see how much work it is to actually go around to all these pails and collect the sap, and then they all get a little bit of a treat. So we make some beautiful maple toffee on fresh snow if we can find it. And that is a highlight, and certainly when students come back to the Grove, that's one of the things they talk about. And having alumni come back and walk into the sugar shack and say, oh, I remember that smell, right? It's always about that smell of maple syrup and maple sugar. That's kind of where we are, and where we're going with this is integrating things like maple syrup and honey into our regenerative farm aspirations at Northcott. We really believe that there's an opportunity to take kids and have them look at a resource, understand how to harvest and produce a product that can be sold and used by our community, but the community in general. It's a small part of a bigger initiative to really ground students that are spending so much time in tech with devices, and this is about getting your hands dirty and being out on the land and enjoying time as a community with friends and producing an amazing sweet treat.